Everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I am here with a very special guest today, and that is of course Mr. Todrick. Oh! I am so excited to be joined with Todrick today because he's just joined the London cast of Chicago, which is super exciting, and I actually saw it last week and it was incredible. So first of all, I want to ask you, Todrick, what's it like to make your West End debut?
I'm so beyond flattered, and every day I have moments where I need to pinch myself because it feels so surreal that I've actually I grew up in such a small farming community that the fact that I've even touched London soil is insane to me, but the fact that I'm performing here and that people are coming here and I'm getting to meet my fans from across the pond is just really, really mind-boggling for me every day.
And of course you're playing the iconic Billy Flynn. Now I know you've obviously played him in Chicago and on Broadway and on tour in America, but to come overseas, that's huge. I mean, does it vary? Do the audiences change, or what's the difference?
I feel like the audiences here in the West End are a lot more polite, and they are not hooting and hollering, which sometimes as a performer we love. So it took me a moment coming to see other West End shows before I was ever in this show to realize that the audience was enjoying the show, but just in a different way. And so I've had to understand that just because they're not screaming and yelling and responding to the things we're doing doesn't mean that they're not enjoying it. They're just being respectful of the performers. And so that has taken a little adjustment. But I just love it so much, and everybody is so sweet, and the way they give us compliments and adulation at the end is still the same. So,
I think it's just the British etiquette. We're very well clap, but I'm that one person who pulls the American out and goes woohoo. My thing on YouTube is very whoop whoop. I don't know if you noticed my video.
No, I did. I watched your video, and just your commitment to theater and to all of the performers, and you giving credit to Maz and to Duncan and to Sarah and all the performers that it takes to tell this beautiful story is really, really awesome, and I love it. And I was stalking you on YouTube for hours a couple of nights ago, so it's really cool to re-meet you. In
you too. Yeah, it's amazing. So obviously you've been on YouTube since 2006. That's 12 incredible years.
Oh wow.
And you are so close to hitting 3 million subscribers. That must be a really surreal feeling, right?
It is. It's crazy because you think about 3 million as just a number, but when you think about it being living, breathing people, it's just very shocking to think about. And when you think about how many views the channel has total, it's insane.
Do you want to know how many views you've got?
I don't know how many.
So currently you have 597 million views.
Wow.
That's over half. It's almost a billion, That's huge. I mean, I'm not very good with my numbers, but
neither am I.
That is insane.
It's very crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the other day I was just going through this moment reflecting because it's almost Christmas time, and I'm here in London for the first time, and it's so beautiful, and I'm having a great time. And I just sat down and watched so many of my own videos, and some people would think that was a self-indulgent thing, but sometimes it's just cool for us to go back and look at it. It's almost a scrapbook. I'm looking back at my high school years and my friends and my family members and people who have come and gone that were on my YouTube channel, and just how far we've progressed artistically on the channel. It's just really cool to motivate me to keep going and to let you know that what you've done has been received so well by so many people.
So obviously with being at Chicago, you've got the famous Spell Block Tango. Now that was a huge viral hit. Everybody was talking about this video. It was just absolutely amazing. Obviously got to work with Amber Riley and some really incredible performers.
Bean, who I'm obsessed with.
Musical theatre queens.
Yes. Shoshana Bean is here doing Beaches, and she's performing. So if you're watching this, you're in London, I will be sneaking to Shoshana Bean's show. Go to Shoshana's show. Okay, sorry.
So my question for you is, when did you first see Chicago?
When the musical came out, when I was just in high school, and if I'm being really completely honest, and I hope nobody bashes me for this, I had seen Moulin Rouge, and I didn't love Moulin Rouge, the musical. It was just I kept getting dizzy, and something about it just wasn't connecting with me. All of the modern songs mixed with the classic aesthetic, it just didn't really speak to me. I think now watching it as somebody who has matured artistically, I would appreciate it more. But at that time, it didn't really speak to me. So when I heard about Chicago, I had no interest. I went into the movie theater with the lowest of expectations. And when Cell Block Tango came on, I already loved all that jazz, and I loved the way it was filmed and the cinematography and the way they made all of the moments be heightened and feel like they were on stage, and the way it was lit. Everything about it I loved, and I loved When You're Good to Mama, but when Cell Block Tango came on, I was like, I'm hooked.
Yes!
I am hooked. I'm obsessed with this musical. The dancing, the lighting, it was just like
it's the best.
I'd never seen anything like that, and it was one of the first things that I was just like, this is for sure what I want to do. And so I thought about different ways that I could retell the story of Sobak Tango, because it's my favorite number from the show, and that's how
using Disney, also another favorite. So that is absolutely amazing, and obviously it's done so well. I also wanted to ask you, like, exactly what got you into musical theatre? What gave you that burning desire to do it and get up on stage?
Well, when I was in elementary school, I was introduced to theater by this teacher named Pat Carthel, who was the gifted and talented recruiter at our school. So she'd find kids she thought was special, and then she would test us, and I made it into the program, probably by the skin of my teeth. And her husband didn't like to go see all the musicals, so she would take me as her +1 to go see all of the shows, and I just was blown away by it. I mean, everything, just like the smell of the fog machines, and watching how the backdrops would flow up and down, and the curtains, and I just loved everything about it. Not just the show, but going into the theater, sitting in the red cushiony seats, like getting the refreshments at intermission, being excited, listening to the orchestra warm up, like the things that you don't think about were the things that made me fall in love with theater so much. And I just, it was immediately evident to me that like it sparked inside of me, and like pixie dust started exploding through my veins, and I was like, this is what I meant to do now. It's not even a question. So
and also, like, obviously I've got my idol. Like, there's so many idols out there.
Who's your idol?
There's so many I could mention, but one in particular that I saw in my very first show, and that was Laura Michelle Kelly. So the first show I ever saw was in the West End. It was in 2005. I was 10 years old. I'd never seen like a musical before. It was my very first experience, and she played Mary Poppins, and she absolutely slayed it, and I loved it.
But I love when someone says that someone slayed Mary Poppins, because Mary Poppins would never really slay anything. She's far too...
Maybe she would, I don't know.
She's practically perfect in every way. So
there we go.
Yeah. That's so cool. I wish I could have seen that. I did see Mary Poppins on Broadway, but we obviously had a different Mary Poppins. And I'm sure there's nothing like seeing an actual British actress play Mary Poppins.
No, it's pretty special. But do you have an idol at all? Is there anybody out there that's
I think it's pretty obvious who my idol is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Beyonce. You know, I wish that it was something really cool that I could say, but it's Beyonce. I have a lot of idols, though. I really look up to Mariah Carey. I love Whoopi Goldberg. I love Oprah. And I don't know, I love RuPaul. That's also an idol of mine.
Of course, RuPaul is incredible, and you're part of the Drag Race family, which is amazing. I love the show. I think everybody loves a bit of the show. It's so much fun and such a joy, because it's all about embracing being yourself and having fun as well. That's the best part about it. One other question I have, which is your favourite line from Chicago. Has there any kind of standout moments where you're like, this is the one?
My favorite line from Chicago. I can't. It's very, very hard. I don't know, because there's so many great lines. I don't know. I have to think about it.
That's fine.
Because I want to choose very carefully. I don't know if it would be a line that was sang or a line that was spoken.
It's a very hard question, to be fair.
I'm going to think about it. I'm going to give you a good answer in the end.
So the next question, actually, this might help, is of course you get to sing the incredible Razzle Dazzle, which is iconic to Chicago. What's that like, doing that song?
I love that song because it's one of the more in the production of Chicago. When I saw it for the first time, I was expecting to see these huge elaborate sets and for it to be like just over the top, like a Wicked type of production. And when I saw how simplistic it was, I fell in love with it even more, because I just think it's so cool that you don't have to tell the story through props or costume changes or like actually be razzle dazzled, but during that number, you do feel like there's some type of like over-the-top circus, Cirque du Soleil type of production, because of the way the performers move around, and the fact that they can just take an umbrella and a cane and a couple of little things and some confetti falling from the ceiling, and it completely transports you and makes you feel like you're in some type of weird, like magical purgatory world.
It's the feathers that gets me. Oh my goodness, all these beautiful ladies around you. And, the way it moves around you and the way you hide behind them, and then you're like, hey, I'm here. It's a great moment in the show.
My favorite line is, he ran into my knife. He ran into my knife 10 times.
Yes.
I love it.
So sexy.
I hope I don't ever have to say that to anyone.
Oh yeah, no.
But I might. Okay.
Oh. Love that. Well, I cannot recommend Chicago enough. Honestly, it's been great to meet you today, Todrick. I am absolutely in love with the show. Absolutely in love with you. You're fabulous. And of course, you can check out Chicago, which is on at the Phoenix Theatre through to January 5th. I can't wait. I'm going to see it again and again and again.
Please,
so be sure to go get your
please
tickets.
do. Thank you.
Yeah. Yay.
Bye.